Investigators say allegedly and intentionally started this fire will face a judge just hours from now. 23-year-old Trey Clark is facing first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and other charges. Chicago police, with help from ATF officials, arrested Clark just days ago in Springfield. That fire erupted on West North Avenue in North Laramie on the west side on June 26th, prompting a sizable response. A 5-year-old boy and his mother were among 4 people killed. Reverend George Smith Jr., who is related to 3 of the victims, says he's struggling to understand how someone could do this.
You know, he murdered 4 people, and it was just senseless because of whatever reason or whatever he felt like. He destroyed lives.
6 other people were rescued from the building, and some of them were hospitalized. The Red Cross says the large fire displaced more than 24 people.
Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Trey again to y'all new video. Hope y'all having a very great day. Hope y'all having a very great week. My day is going absolutely marvelous. Big shout out to all the channel members and subscribers to Trey King Show family, and much love to each and every last one of you all. And you all, we have a story out of Illinois by way of Austin, and big shout out to everybody in the great state of Illinois, everybody inside of Austin. Now, before I start the story, I want to send a special thank you out to my channel members and also to my subscribers for sending me this story, and also keep these stories coming. And now you all, also before I start this story, I want to send a special condolence out to the family and friends of the 4 victims that we tragically lost in this fire. And this fire was very ferocious, as you all see. And you all, also before I start this story, I want to ask you a question. What can make an ex, yes, the word for the day is ex, what can make an ex so butthurt to the point where they want to kill you, and also you and your new boo? And that's exactly what took place in Austin recently, where we have 23-year-old Trey Clark, who was arrested for setting an apartment fire where 4 people were tragically killed. And not only was they just killed, family, they died a very tragic death, as you all see this fire. Now, along with Trey Clark being arrested was also his cousin. And that's the reason why we have some of this information, even though Trey Clark's cousin is telling the police that Trey Clark planned this and acted it out himself. But we will find that to be very troublesome later on inside the story, where the cousin is basically telling a lie. Now, true enough, Trey Clark was the mastermind, but at the same time, the cousin went out there with Trey Clark around 1 a.m. in the morning. And now, family, you got to ask yourself, if a person is coming to pick you up for you all to go commit a crime, as in this case, commit an arson, which led to a murder, what would that person be coming to get you for? Especially somebody who's supposed to be your first cousin. Number one, either they coming to get you just for you to ride along with them, which don't make no sense, or B, they coming to get you for you to help them, or C, they coming to get you so you can help them and also help get rid of the evidence. Me, I'm thinking on the latter part of C. So to the cousin who's doing all that telling, thank you for telling everything, but at the same time, sir, you are just as guilty as Trey Clark, because why did you take your ass out there? And now this incident took place in Austin a few weeks ago, early Thursday morning, where the day before, Trey Clark was seen arguing with his ex-girlfriend over a Snapchat post. And that Snapchat post had to do with the girlfriend posting a picture of her and Trey Clark's friend hugged up, which happened to be her new boyfriend. So let me ask you all this also, family. Now, is the ex-girlfriend wrong? Because remember, she's the ex-girlfriend. So is she wrong for getting with his friend, or is the friend more wrong than the ex? Because one thing about it, you got to understand one thing. People do not own you. You do not own each other. So if that's your ex for a reason. And we've been saying that a long time on this show. So once again, who is at fault? Or is anybody at fault other than the person who plans to take out? Me, in my personal opinion, I don't think the ex-girlfriend is wrong. I don't think the friend is wrong. Who I think is wrong is the person who carried out this vicious and heinous arson attack on these innocent people. Now, what makes the story even more crazy is the fact, family, that the 2 intended people that Trey Clark came to kill, which happened to be who? His ex-girlfriend and also his friend, neither one of them died.
We now know the victims killed were not involved in the domestic dispute.
And thank God they didn't die. But tragically, 4 other people died, and also 12 other people are seriously hurt right now, still in critical condition. And then we also have 24 people that are displaced. And as you all can tell by looking at this building, the extent of this fire damage caused a third of this building to be destroyed. And that's why we have so many people still displaced. And we also have some still in the hospital listed in critical condition. But I know one thing. If anybody, I don't care if your cousin, brother, sister, whoever, if you come and get me, trying to get me to go commit a crime with you, I'm going to do just like this.
Dog, let me out.
Tell your ass to let me out, and guess what? You gonna get yourself in trouble, because I'll be damned if I go to jail for anybody. Anyway, let's begin.
To an update on a man charged in connection to a deadly fire that killed 4 people in the Austin neighborhood. He faced a judge for the first time today. Trey Clark is accused of starting the fire following a domestic dispute with one of the surviving victims, his ex-girlfriend.
We learned in court this afternoon that the suspect was upset after learning that his ex-girlfriend was possibly dating his friend.
And now, as the news reporter stated, all of this started because Trey Clark was butthurt that his ex-girlfriend moved on. But she didn't just move on with anybody. She moved on with a person who happened to be his friend, Trey Clark. That goes to show you, sir, that number one, this friend of yours was really not your friend. And the reason why I say that is this point right here. What friend want to date the ex of somebody who's supposed to be their friend? That don't make no damn sense. So let me ask you all this before we continue. Have you ever dated one of your friend's ex? And also, if you did, how did that friend respond? And to the 4 victims who lost their life in this fire, they go by the name of Destiny Henry, who happened to be 27 years old, along with her sister, Regina Brown Henry, who happened to be 32 years old, who they say was also 3 months pregnant, along with her 5-year-old son, Jason. That's a damn shame right there. This man sat up here and set this fire, and it took 4 people's lives. So not only did we have 4 people that lost their life in this fire, but one of those victims happened to be pregnant, and she was 3 months pregnant. She died tragically trying to save her 5-year-old son. That's a shame. All of this, all because we have a person who could not let go. Let's continue.
And prosecutors say this fire stems from a domestic dispute between them and escalated when his ex-girlfriend posted a selfie on social media. That's when prosecutors say he came up with the plan to harm them, setting their apartment building on fire.
And one thing about this whole situation that I do not understand, as related to what the news reporter stated, is that all of this took place because Trey Clark seen his ex-girlfriend booed up, hugged up with her new boyfriend, which happened to be his friend. But you got to ask yourself this, family, before we go any further. Why are you still following her on social media? And you have people like that. I'm not the only one, I'm sure, that got stalkers from the past. But at the same time, some of you all got stalkers from the past that refused to let you go. You would think that people would move on and go on with their life. And for those of you who are calling a 23-year-old man a boy or a kid, that's a damn lie. This is a grown-ass man. Now, true enough, he may have boy mentalities, and he may not know how to control his emotions all the way. But one thing you do know, being 23 years old, because you know this at 10 years old, at 15 years old, you do know one thing, and that's what, family? Not to sit up here and try to go plan and kill somebody, all because you're butthurt because your ex-girlfriend done moved on with your friend. That's a damn shame right there. In my honest opinion, if you're going to be mad at anybody, number one, be mad at your damn self. Now, we can see why you're the ex, because, sir, you're crazy as hell. Let's continue.
23-year-old Trey Clark is now charged with 19 felony counts of murder and arson. Clark was taken into custody in Springfield after being on the run for nearly 2 weeks. Investigators believe he intentionally set the fire on June 26 near Laramie and North Avenues, killing 4 people and injuring several others. The victims killed identified as 5-year-old Jason Henry, his mom 32-year-old Gina Henry, her sister 28-year-old Destiny Henry, and 76-year-old Brad Cummings. We now know the victims killed were not involved in the domestic dispute.
And as the news reporter stated, the victims that was involved, the ones that got killed, was not involved in this whole incident. So, sir, you saw up here and took 4 innocent people alive, along with injuring 12 others, along with displacing 24 other people, all because you could not push the block button on Snapchat. It's like this with me. I mean, if you sit up there trying to stalk somebody and you're going to get mad over stuff they post, because I have people get mad over me over stuff I post. I'm like, damn, well, this is my channel. This is my page. You go do what you want to do. Matter of fact, you ain't got to watch. But you have some people, like I always tell you all, that tune in just to be offended. And that's exactly what happened in this case, but in other words. Now, we have a man, instead of him turning his back, going on by his business, moving on with his life, he's still trying to hold on to the past. And that's why we have this story. And that's why we have these innocent people who tragically lost their life. Now, the elderly man in this whole situation happened to be a 76-year-old news editor, and they did not find him until Friday. But remember one thing, the fire was that Thursday morning, so it took a whole day for them to locate the last missing victim. which happened to be the 76-year-old man. And once again, my condolences goes out to his family because nobody deserved to die like this, especially over something so petty and so trivial. Let's continue.
According to prosecutors, Clark was with his cousin on the night of the fire. Shortly after learning his ex could be dating his friend, Clark was caught on surveillance video at a gas station filling a container with gasoline, then at a food store purchasing a face mask and a lighter. Prosecutors say they drove to the apartment building where Clark was seen on surveillance video coming and going from an alley nearby. At one point, prosecutors say he returned without the container. His cousin, who stayed behind, told investigators, quote, Clark banged his head on a center console and told him that he had just lit the house on fire.
And as I told you all in the beginning of the video, Lontre Clark's cousin is put this whole incident on him, trying to make himself seem like an innocent little lamb. But cousin, thank you for telling every damn thing. But on the other hand, you want us to believe that you're totally innocent in this whole situation. But we thank you for telling everything that went on. But at the same time, sir, you left out some key evidence. It's not like you're an innocent little lamb. Because they also say Lontre Clark was at the front of the building throwing Molotov cocktails and that the cousin was at the back of the building throwing Molotov cocktails. That's why they could not escape out the building because, number one, Lontre Clark threw the Molotov cocktails inside the apartment and then he also threw it on the front door. So while Lontre Clark was at the front of the building throwing Molotov cocktails, we have a report that states also that the cousin was at the back of the building doing the exact same thing. And that's the reason why could nobody really escape. And that's the reason why they said they had people jumping out the window. So to the cousin, once again, you knew what Lontre Clark was up to when you went along with him on this ride. You was there at the station, at the gas station, and also at the grocery store while he was buying all these products so he could make the Molotov cocktail. But you got the nerve to want to sit up here and try to make yourself out to be totally innocent in this whole situation. But ask yourself this, family, since the cousin want to make himself out to be so innocent. What person rides with somebody and they go and buy a ski mask, go and buy antifreeze, go and buy fluid to set the damn fire, and also buy a lighter? What person does that? And then also go to the location where the fire took place. But you are so innocent. That's a damn shame right there. And this is the reason why, number one, don't commit no crime. But this is the main reason why damn sure don't bring nobody with you. Because guess what? When the heat come down and they get caught, guess what they're going to do? They're going to tell on who? Yo ass. Let's continue.
Family says Destiny Henry died running back into the building trying to save her 5-year-old son. He survived but remains in the hospital with a head injury and burns to his face and body.
And that's the sad part about this whole situation. We have a woman who made it out the building, and also she was 3 months pregnant. Now, she made it out the building, but she had to go back in and risk her life. And she tragically lost her life going back inside the burning building, trying to save her 5-year-old son. But ask yourself this, family, what person wouldn't do that for their child? And it's like this with me. If the mom would have stayed and let her son burn to death, guess what? We would have been talking bad about the mom. So in this situation, you damned if you do and damned if you don't. But at the same time, what decent person who called herself a mom or a dad would leave their child in a burning building? So she had to do what she had to do. And my heart goes out to her and also to her family, to all the victims, because none of this shouldn't have happened. Let's close up.
Meanwhile, the judge is calling this case horrific, and after hearing the evidence, he was denied pretrial release. His next court hearing is scheduled for Monday.
And now in closing, thank you to the judge for denying Lontre Clark bail, and also thank you for making his ass sit in jail until his trial. So let me ask you all this for my people who live in the great state of Illinois, my people who live in the Austin and Chicago area. How much time do you think Lontre Clark is going to receive after being charged with first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and aggravated arson, and several other felony charges? They say in total, Lontre Clark is sitting in jail right now with 19 felonies. Now, I'm not sure how many felonies his cousin got, even though I feel his cousin should receive the same punishment that Lontre should receive. So let me ask you all this. Do you think by the cousin cooperating with the police and telling the police everything, do you think the cousin should receive less time than Lontre? Because me, in my personal opinion, I believe the cousin should receive the same time that Lontre should receive. It should not be no different because, number one, this was planned and premeditated. And, sir, only thing you had to do, well, like I said earlier in the video,
Don't. Let me out.
tell Lontre to let you out. And guess what, sir? You would have been home free. instead of sitting in jail with your cousin, all because he could not let go of the past. But let this be a lesson to you all. When it's over, let it be over. Shut that door and move on. Now, even though the ex-girlfriend moved on, but guess what? Trey Clark did not move on. We all have people like that in our life. My advice to you all is just be careful because you don't know the type of people that you are entertaining. Anyway, you all let me know what you think about this story. If there's anything I may have missed or misinformed, which is not my true intent, please let me know in the comment section or you can email me. We can talk about it more there. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Become a channel member. Also share the video with your family and friends. Till next time, you all stay blessed. And I will see y'all soon on the next Trey King show. And guess what? I'm out.